And hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of The Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan, once again bringing you my thoughts and review for this week's episode of WandaVision, Season 1, Episode 4. Now, before I begin, gotta let you guys know, spoilers. I'm doing the spoiler reviews now because honestly, with this show, everybody's gonna be talking about it. It drops really quick on Fridays. And this is the first big real Marvel show and first phase form anything. So yeah, let's talk about it because it's gonna get spoiled anyway. So I'm just letting you know, if you don't have Twitter and all that stuff and you don't want to know the spoilers, come back to this after you watch it because there's gonna be huge spoilers in here. Okay, so you've been warned. So the last time we saw Wanda and Vision, they were pretty much getting ready to have their baby, or babies, as you know, as the last episode tells you that Wanda had twins. We found out the woman who came over with the big afro hair, that was Monica Rambeau. We find out that's Monica Rambeau, which is obvious. A lot of us knew it was her. She shows up. Things start getting a little kind of, I guess, glitchy. Something's going on. Wanda's like wondering who is she. She doesn't recognize her. And I go back. I'm gonna go back to that moment when I get to the episode. But something happens, so she just basically blasts her out. What it seems to be that world that Wanda is stuck in with Vision and the babies. So Monica gets blasted back, I guess, to reality, and it leads up to this episode. So we get a flashback of before and also after WandaVision. We get a flashback after the re-snap when Tony Stark / Iron Man snapped everybody back to existence. Monica Rambeau was one of the victims who got dusted. She was basically in a hospital, I guess, with her mother. Her mother was supposed to get surgery. And remember, Monica disappeared. Nobody, they don't know what happened after the 5 years have passed. But one of the doctors came in and told her, hey, listen, your mom died 3 years ago. But she's been gone for 5. So she probably thought the surgery was okay. And then she got dusted. And then she came back. Her mother's gone. Now, if you don't know who Monica Rambeau is, Monica Rambeau, not only in the comics book, but if you've seen Captain Marvel, that was the little girl that Captain Marvel knew. You know, her mother was her best friend. They were pilots together. Even she thought Captain Marvel disappeared or died, and then when she came back, they helped out each other, saved the Kree, and yada yada yada. I mean, the Skrulls. Sorry, not the Kree, but the Skrulls from the Kree. And Monica last time saw Captain Marvel, she was off to space. Basically send the Skrulls to a better place to live. Some of them did stay on Earth to help out with S.H.I.E.L.D. And then that leads us to tonight's episode, where we find out that Monica Rambeau, when she woke up, she had no idea what's going on. Then she got briefed, and we find out she's a SWORD agent. Now, SWORD is basically S.H.I.E.L.D., except they deal with mostly cosmic threats, space threats, alien invasions, maybe a comet or two, but basically, while SWORD handles the global Earth stuff that's going to be happening, threats from AIM and all those guys, Hydra, SWORD deals with, all the, Chitauri, Thanos, and all those guys, maybe even Galactus one day down the road, but, yeah. So we find out Monica Rambeau is a SWORD agent. So, her mission is supposed to be, helping out the galaxy, basically. Unfortunately, she gets kind of like, I guess, in a way, punished for some weird reason, because her mother wanted her to, wanted SWORD to protect her in a, keep an eye on my daughter situation. Don't put her in so big threats. But, so she gets grounded in a way, so she becomes a field agent, and then she goes to this town in Jersey, where it's quite off. It's very quite off, where she goes there and there's like nothing. It looks normal, but when she gets there, she sees it as like a force field there, blocking people to go in there. She can't get through. She has no idea what's going on. And then she ends up going through the portal. Now we end up finding out that portal ends up leading, or the force field leads into WandaVision. So she's been stuck in WandaVision for that much longer. Now we go back a little bit where the FBI agent who arrested Ant-Man, Jimmy Wong, I believe is his name. I probably butchered that, but he shows up, tries to get information, and then they end up recruiting Darcy from Thor: The Dark World. Now, remember Darcy? She was Jane Foster's friend, which is pretty cool. You know, I like Kate Dennings. I think she's funny, and she comes back, so that was cool. She starts, trying to figure out what's going on. She finds out there's like some high radiation of something, going on with that whole thing. Then then they see this whole old school television show, and they're watching WandaVision as it's playing. They are the ones watching it. So at the end of the first 2 episodes, we find out, who's watching Wanda. It was Darcy. Darcy is in S.H.I.E.L.D. trying to figure out what happened to Monica Rambeau. At that point, they didn't know about the town being disappeared. They had their suspicions, and the town people who are still there, they find that it's odd that certain people have disappeared. Then they start watching the show, and then they start piecing together who's missing, and these people have reported missing. So basically, all the characters in WandaVision are people who actually have disappeared from wherever they're from. Maybe they're sword agents. Maybe they're just regular people. They just got disappeared. They don't have no idea how they got there, what's going on. They don't know why Wanda is stuck in there as well. They know Vision is dead. They see Vision there, but they don't wondering what's going on. They don't know what's going on. They have no clue. So Darcy's like, okay, give me an old school television. And she gets an old school, black and white, you have the whole old dials and the little bunny antennas. She gets that to try to watch the episode as it goes on, see if any changes happen. So basically, she's watching episodes 1, 2, and 3. As we watching those episodes, while we, the audience, every week have been watching those 3 episodes that passed already, they were watching it simultaneously to see what's going on, who are the people there, do they know where they are, and then they find out, they try to get in contact with them. If you guys remember the episode when Wanda goes to the club, the pool club, what do you call those places? Anyway, the rich fancy clubs that people, the rich people go to. And when that speaker was talking to Wanda, are you okay? Who's doing this to you? That was the guy from Ant-Man. He was trying to communicate with Wanda to see if she knew what was going on. Maybe they don't know if she's trapped there. They don't know what's going on, if she's okay. They're trying to figure out. But to us, the audience, we're starting to figure out that, and I'm starting to figure out this too. I'm starting to believe that now Wanda is actually doing this, because at the end of this episode, and I'm going to talk about that, gave us some really cool details of what actually is going on. So they're trying to figure out what's going on, and then of course we all know what happens to Monica Rambeau. The babies come. She starts asking questions about Ultron and Pietro, and then Wanda just slaps her back to the real world, back to, the Avenger normal world, basically normal world. She goes back to the portal, the force field, or wherever it was. She goes back into normal, and then the Swords agents pick her up, and that was the end of the episode. The end of episode 3's episode, and then it just picks up from where we are. We just go back around. First of all, this episode was very, very helpful. Not only giving us clues of what's actually going on, but it does help us really, I don't know, maybe some people have figured it out, but I have totally figured this out. I could be wrong still, but, from what I'm seeing here, every sign points to Wanda's doing all this. And I kind of knew that was, going into this whole show. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh, wow, they actually going throughout the whole, kind of like I forgot the name of the comic book, the one where Wanda goes all crazy, she makes a reality, and then eventually wipes out all the mutants. But they kind of take an inspiration from that comic book to this show, because in the last couple of minutes of the episode, and it was well done. If you really look at this episode, very well done. If you can give an Emmy to anybody for just a scene, Elizabeth Olsen should get one, because there's a moment where she's like, she's fixing what she just did. She just blasted Monica Rambeau through reality to go back to normal, go back to the real world. And then she fixes everything, and then she looks at Vision, and then you see Vision dead. It's a quick glimpse of him dead without the Infinity Stone, and Wanda just freaks out. She goes, and then she snaps right back into it. And then you see her face. She goes, and then you see Vision asking her, "Are you okay?" And then her face just says everything. She goes, "I'm okay." It shows us, the audience, that is Wanda doing this on her own, or somebody's controlling her? My opinion, she's actually doing this herself. There's a lot of rumors out there that Mephisto is a part of this. I believe Mephisto will be a part of this somehow to set him up in a future Doctor Strange movie, or maybe something in the Avengers down the road. Maybe just, little Easter eggs here. I don't think he's helping Wanda out or using Wanda himself. Maybe I'm like 80% sure that Wanda is the one doing this, because you just see her face. She goes all crazy, looking at, freaking out that she sees Vision, what she's supposed to see him as, dead. And then she goes back to normal, where this whole reality where she's married to him, they just have 2 beautiful boys. It's paradise for her. It's perfect for her. She is doing this. Maybe she doesn't really realize that she's doing this and this is bad. Maybe she thinks that all the characters are in her head, but she's actually taking people from the real world and making them to sitcom little puppet toys for her to play with. That's awesome. I'm telling you, Elizabeth Olsen should get an Emmy for this one scene. It was just one scene, but her face expression did it all. She goes all freaked out, and then, everything's fine. It was brilliant. That was the most coolest thing I've ever saw in my life. And she did a really good job with that. Just for that. And, they weren't really in the episode that much, Wanda and Vision, because it was really more about Sword trying to get back Monica Rambeau and then figuring out what's going on throughout the whole system. Now, everybody's caught up now. But just seeing that one scene really shows us that Wanda is doing all this. Now, she may not be doing this intentionally. Because remember, she lost Vision. She loved Vision. Vision was her whole world. She just lost him. Okay, so there's that. She got dusted herself, so that's that, and then coming back. So she's a little probably freaked out about that. Not only that, she knows Black Widow's gone. Black Widow's dead. Natasha. And then, of course, even though she's not super friends with him, or, they were really close, Tony Stark is dead as well. So she lost a lot of people in her life. Yeah, sure. Tony locked her in her room, and in that famous, Civil War scene. But still, he treated her like, okay, you're gonna do something bad, you're gonna get punished like a daughter kind of type of way. But she lost him. Maybe she wasn't so thrilled with him at some points, but she probably felt something for something, maybe like a father figure in a small, way, not as much as how she thinks of Hawkeye. Hawkeye, I can see she thinks of him as a father figure more. Can you imagine if Hawkeye died? Whole realities would have been destroyed already. But yeah, so she lost him. She lost Black Widow. She lost Vision. She got dusted herself. So that's gonna damage somebody, especially somebody who's lost so much. If you were dusted after being killed first and then coming back, and then you find out some of your family members have died because of the dusting, and they weren't dusting themselves, but they got killed in the process of that. It's like that's gonna shut down anybody. So yeah, but yeah, this episode was awesome in the sense that it finally gave us information, more confirmation about what the heck is going on in this show. And I'm pretty sure there's people out there who didn't know what's going on with this and like how to feel about this show. They watch this show is gonna get them really motivated to watch more, because honestly, this felt like a real Marvel show in a way. Yeah, sure, the comedy stuff and the 60s, 70s, and all that stuff in the 50s was fun. I love that stuff. That was great. I enjoyed every single one of those episodes. But this right here really shows, yeah, this is a Marvel show. Keep watching it, and who knows what's gonna happen next. I believe at the end of this episode, at the end of the show's like officially done, which is in March, I believe, March. Or February, whatever. Doctor Strange is going to show up. I think Doctor Strange is going to show up in the very last episode, either to get ready to fight Wanda, and it's going to be one of those to be continued situations, or it's just going to say Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness at the end of it, or something in that nature. I think that's going to happen. I think Doctor Strange is going to show up. Benjamin Cumberbatch is going to be involved in this somehow. We eventually going to see Pietro. I just don't know which version, and maybe he'll be one of them. Or maybe they get the actor who played from the X-Men and he'll play the Pietro who didn't see that coming. Maybe he'll get, that version or a totally different version that we haven't seen yet. But, yeah. This really showed us, what is going on. And I truly believe that this is all Wanda. I don't think anybody else is involved. I could be wrong. Maybe Mephisto is controlling her. And even know who he is, that's basically the devil from Marvel. And that's Lucifer. But yeah, I just believe it's Wanda doing all this. She's just she's in such a bad place right now that her powers are just making this for her to help her feel better and heal, because that's what she wants. She wants to be happy again. She lost her brother. We all know that. That's her twin brother. She lost that in Ultron. Then of course Vision. Then of course Natasha's gone. Then of course Tony's gone. And she probably doesn't really care too much about them, but still, she had them in their lives, in her life, and they're gone as well. So yeah, that can drive anybody insane. She died herself at one point and then came back magically. So that can really drive anybody. So she's lost a lot, and she's just trying to deal with the emotion in her own way. A lot of people, they deal with depression in their own ways. Some people, they take it too far. And then there are some people who just grab a bowl of ice cream, gain 30 pounds or whatever it is. Or who knows. But yeah, people deal with tragedy in their own way. And, that's what she's dealing with. She's dealing with her own tragedy. She's made a reality where she can be safe and free. And that's what she's doing. And I thought this episode was great. And I can't wait to see more. So, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Did you guys enjoy it? Did you guys not enjoy the other episodes? And this is the one that got you back on board and you went back to watch the other ones so you guys can be ready, caught up, and getting ready to be pumped for the next episodes? Or are you still not thrilled with this show at all and you don't care? And, But, yeah. Oh, by the way, one more thing. The whole Kat Dennings things, Darcy, I feel like if they didn't announce, what is it, Thor Love and Thunder, if Thor Love and Thunder was going to be something else, a totally different movie, without Jane Foster, I definitely would have been sure that Natalie Portman would have been a part of this in some weird shape or form. But since she's going to be a part of Thor Love and Thunder, they okay, let's just get Darcy to do it. I'm 65-70% sure that was probably the original plan, that, okay, we need a scientist who can help out, and we want to bring back a favorite character. Let's bring back Jane Foster. But yet Taika Waititi's oh, whoa. Let me use her for a movie, because we want to make Thor Love and Thunder. Jane Foster becomes Thor. Let's do that. That's just my guess, but, it would have been cool. But, we are going to get Natalie Portman regardless, but, can't wait. But yeah, I did like Darcy. I'm glad she's back. I think the Russo brothers announced, years ago that she did get dusted herself too. So, I kind of wish we got to see that, where her face expressions would have been oh my God, what's going on? And then she just disappears. But yeah, I'm glad she's back. So I hope we get more of her in this show as it goes forward. But yeah, I have a feeling that we're eventually going to get a sword show somewhere down the road. It's not going to replace Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in my eyes, but it'll be awesome in its own right. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. So, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. And are you guys looking forward to more? You guys are done with this? You guys just want the movies and don't care about the TV shows? Leave a comment below. Let me know. Thank you very much and have a good day.